Sage Forsaken here, and today we're looking at the Ultimate Battle Pack, but we're doing a figure comparison instead of an unboxing. We're going to start our figure comparison looking at the figure of Mirage. So Mirage, here, the original Mirage figure, is a little harder to find. Really popular figure because of the bare arms for customs, especially since most of these core figures of this era, all the arms could pretty much be swapped out for the most part. So basically, if you wanted any of these other figures to have these kind of arms, without anything on them, it became a very popular choice for that. Of course, the original Mirage had a mask on it, but this Mirage has a mohawk. You can see him here in gold, and the old version had the the mask and the hat on it and everything. So it's a pretty popular figure, though it's sometimes hard to find. I paid anywhere from 50 cents for them before to $4 for them. It just depends. The great thing about buying the new one is you do get the accessories and everything, and those are pretty hard to find with the figure, including accessories. Of course, here is Rain. Rain is also in this set, but he's using the same Shinobi body as Mirage in this figure. Whereas, you do see where Rain, is in other bodies. Like, usually he's in most of the figures you find with him nowadays are in the new version you see back here of the body mold, which originally was for this figure. This figure does have a little bit better paint apps than the current version, though you can see, it does have, I love that orange. It's really popping and everything. The great thing about at least they did paint the front of the figure as far as the belt and things of that nature on the new version, because if you look at the back, even the older version, they usually don't paint the back unless you get the first run of these figures before they had to start cutting cost even more. Okay, and moving right along, we're going to be looking at a new character. The new character's name is Shark. Shark, it comes with the buck of Boulder he has a beret head, and he's got a green look. I didn't even realize this was the same body the first time I saw images of this figure, because the cool decal on the front and the different coloration threw me off for a few seconds, and I had to really look at it to realize, oh, that's just the buck body. I mean, the buck from Boulder. Obviously, we won't go into the whole Boulder and why he's no longer a figure anymore. But you can look at that other videos I put out. The character died in one of the comics, but that's not why he's no longer a character. Anyway, but yeah, the Boulder body buck is actually my favorite. The first custom I ever made used the same body, though it was the tan version for a Destiny action figure. So really have a lot of love for this figure, especially because it's really why I got into the core, because I saw this figure and I was trying to figure out a cheap alternative to make customs with. Since I was new at it, I didn't want to play with a real $20 action figure. So I started with Boulder. Now, the Plague, leader of the curse. Plague has been around for a long time. Same exact figure. They just keep changing up the paint job. This older version had a better paint job, in my opinion. But even then, the new paint figure is pretty much what we had a few years ago without the nano machine lines, the painted red lines on the figure, showing that he's got the curse nanovirus in his bloodstream and everything. So it's kind of interesting that they took away more paint apps while keeping pretty much the same exact figure. Obviously, they have a storyline reason for that they've changed up the virus and it no longer looks the same or whatever. But it's just a cost-cutting measure, let's be honest. It's interesting to see these guns molded in different color plastic. Usually these guns were in a silver, metallic, or black. Now they're all orange, and I guess that's to try to make them look more like Nerf guns or something, so kids will actually be able to play with them. If we look at the diver here, Diesel, I think. Basically, the version in this package just doesn't have the mesh paint job decal that this one does, but pretty much most of the paint apps are the same. This arms on this figure is what I use for most of my customs when I'm throwing him on the boulder buck, so that he has a full body suit instead of fleshy arms. So when I'm making like space adventurers or speeder bike racers or whatever, that they're really protected from the elements. Okay, and next we're going to be talking about Rip. He was part of the Corps, and when the time crisis happened, of course, it changed the events of the world. So now he is a member of the Curse. Here's another figure that used the same body in the past. You're going to see that a lot of reuse and swapping and stuff like that has happened, where this buck has been used for a couple different figures, but Rip is actually the most common one to use that body. Moving right along, our buddy Hawk here with the helmet is the best innovation so far for this figure. Basically is the reuse of their soldier body, basically, which is Rucker uses it, Jump uses it, a few different figures are using it, but of course this new figure Hawk uses it, and he's in the blue, so he matches Boulder pretty good. If you're going to be making our teams or whatever, having that blue body is pretty cool. Yeah, I'll likely do a video with him out of the package with the helmet on and things of that nature, because I know people will be interested in seeing how that works with the figure. Now, some cool things about the time travel elements of the storyline going on right now is you can have Ghost and Plague in the same set. Basically Ghost at one point was one of the leaders of the Corps, and he became Plague. So, because they've traveled back to the past, we have a version of Ghost that has never turned evil to fight on the Corps side, and Plague to fight on the Curse side. So, lots of cool weapons and accessories in this set. If you like this video. Also, my set actually had decent eyes. I wouldn't say they're the best painted eyes on figures I've seen, but they weren't crazy wonky like some of the other sets I've seen where people posted online that what is going on. So I'm glad to say that I got a decent set. Though when you're buying online, it's kind of like a random, you might get some good ones and bad ones. And of course, I haven't really looked close at all of them, but for the most part, they looked okay. That is just one thing that I've seen a lot of posts about. Anyway, if you like these videos, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, pour on the plastic.